How's it going, everybody? How you like my new hat? It's an indicator that I am a collector of vinyl albums. The last time I was in Mexico, I spent 3 days, I dedicated 3 days to head over to Mexico City to look through their record stores. And that was quite an experience. So I'm going to share that experience with you. This is not so much advising you how to do it, so much as it is how my experience turned out and how I almost lost the albums that I purchased in Mexico City. Spending 3 days in Mexico City may or may not be enough time for you. All I know is it's never enough time for me, and honestly, I didn't have to come here to buy music because music of all kinds fills the air from city block to city block. I was raised in the 60s, so I had older siblings who loved records. But in the 70s and 80s, that was in my prime. I started making too much money, more so that a young man should deserve to have. And I bought albums. I lived in a party house. Nobody was allowed to touch my albums except my roommate, and he was very respectful with that responsibility. So if you can think back to the 70s and 80s, there was some pretty darn good music that was let out into the wild back in that world, and I have had quite a collection. But then they went into storage, and as a young man I moved, from house to house, from town to town, and 40, 50 years later, maybe not 50, here I am with all this rack of albums. So I decided I'm going to bust them out. And then I had an aunt who passed away, and I acquired all of her album collection. And there was a lot of big band, there was a lot of folk, and there was a lot of 1950s and 60s jazz music. Some of the songs I'd heard before, but boy, I had no idea what jazz was all about. So that's where I'm at right now, buying jazz, good quality jazz music from way back when. Currently sitting in the Mexico City airport. As you can hear, I don't know why they pick on me here more so than the other people standing around me, but I always get picked on. Is it because I look interesting enough that they want to go through my bags? Is it because I look like a terrorist? folks. This is my woe is me, my woe is me video because things have not been going right. My first day in Mexico City, I went and actually checked out 2 record stores. Both are out of business. In one occasion, I took an Uber. The guy left me in the general area. He asked some guy, and the place was called Discos Ray, R-A-Y, like, Raymond. Excuse me. He asked this vendor, and he says, Ray, oh yeah, it's on the other side of the street. It's covered by vendors. It's in the building, not on the street. So I got dropped off. Walked over there, and I see Pollo Ray. No Disco Ray. Chicken Ray. So that was a strikeout. Actually, yeah, like I said, my 2 tries were unsuccessful because they're out of business. Don't exist. So I'm going to try again tomorrow. But today was not a good day. Today is definitely a wine day. By the way, I'm a gold member for hotels.com. So I'm supposed to get, at this hotel, a free bottle of wine. I didn't get it. Guy felt bad. He gave me 2 small bottles. That's all he had. And he apologized for not having a clean glass of wine for me. And I told him, look, you don't know me very well. This is perfectly fine. In fact, I probably prefer this over a glass of wine. You know that I don't like girly glasses. Tomorrow's a new day. We'll see if I can find any vinyl records in Mexico City mañana. But that's my update. Salud. It's good wine, by the way. I am staying at the Hotel Centro Histórico. I paid full price, $144 a night, and I've got extra time to spend because of the information that I just learned. All record stores in Mexico City do not open until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which means another day wasted in Mexico City. So with a little extra time on my hands, I'm heading over to one of my favorite places to have breakfast, and that's called Seven Buddhas. Seven Buddhas is on Calle Guadalajara in Colonia Roma, and I go there because I love their breakfast, and I love their powered turbo shakes that'll get me through the day, because I will have a lot of traversing back and forth throughout Mexico City, spending most of my day in Ubers trying to find record stores so I don't waste my trip here in Mexico City. Once I saw Rico's Discos, I knew I was getting close, because like most businesses in Mexico, they are generally located in bunches, and that was the case here with 3 stores in one location, starting with Number 9 Records. And as you can see, the stores are so small, the owners had to leave to allow more room for their customers to browse. Revolution Records catered to more US music. They were a bit more pricey. And down the road on Avenida Insurgentes was Mundo Vinyl. And Mundo Vinyl actually had 2 employees along with the owner tending to the record store. As you can see, there was a lot more room to breathe, and the store was very well organized. So if you're into vinyl, like I'm into vinyl, obviously going to Mexico City just to buy vinyl albums. I spent almost $100 American on 6 albums. Here we go. Let's talk about how I came about buying. Which one is this? Laurindo Almeida is a kind of a jazz guitarist with a Brazilian flair. This album, it says that it is a limited edition, still in its original shrink wrap. I bought this for 200 pesos, which is the equivalent of about $11. On the market right now for a very good plus, it's selling for about $16. So I made out okay. What's interesting is this is a 12-inch album, but it plays at 45 speed, like the small 7-inch. Bought this from Number 9 Records. Also from Number 9 Records, this is Herbie Mann. Bought this for 200 pesos as well, so almost $11. I looked up online, and this album in the US is selling for $45 to $60. So again, I made out. Herbie Mann live. This is a live version. So another score for Andy, for me. All right. Miles Davis. Who doesn't know about Miles Davis? Miles Davis 19 was selling for 700 pesos. I pulled the album out of its sleeve, and I told the guy who worked for Revolution Records, old timer, he's about my age, he's a little scruffy old Californian, was selling it for $700 or 700 pesos, which is mint condition price. The album had a few scuffs on it, so I told him, you know what, will you sell it to me for less? He said, yeah, well, 600. And I said, well, somebody will buy it from you, and I moved on. As I was walking back to exit, he stops me and he says, how about 500? Snatched that up in no time, which is the equivalent of about $38 American dollars. Selling the same condition in the United States is going anywhere from $50 to $85. Again, I'm not selling these to resell them. It makes me feel good that I got, a better deal, which I didn't, because I traveled all the way to Mexico City to buy these for a cheaper rate. But it's all about the hunt. It's all about finding what you want. These albums here are not even on my wish list, but it feels good to have them, and I'm going to play them, not sell them, forevermore. Oh, what's next? Oh, this one here. Miles Davis as well. This was selling for 800 pesos, and I bought it for 800 pesos. Mint condition. The album inside was incredibly beautiful. 800 pesos is about 44 American dollars. Near mint in the US is about selling for about $50. So again, broke even, but this is not an album that I'm gonna buy at a local store in this condition or online. So I love having this album. I can't wait to get back home to listen to it. This album here I bought from Mundo Vinyl, and I was impressed with the guy because I said there's a couple of albums on my wish list that are classified as Mambo, and I told him that. He got one of his employees to search through all of the Mambo albums that they think would appeal to me, and there were several of them. This one did appeal to me. I probably would not have bought this otherwise, but you know what? You do the work, you get the business. I bought it from him, and I'm sure I'm going to like this album. This is Mambo's Greatest Hits. It's listed for 200 pesos. He sold it to me for 100 pesos, which is about $5, almost $6. It's a 1960 clean album, both the album and the album cover. Also bought from Mundo Vinyl is this Gino Vanelli album. I used to own this Gino Vanelli. Don't know what happened to it. But if you haven't heard of Gino Vanelli, give him a listen. His voice is incredible. Very powerful music. Love Gino Vanelli. So that rounds out 6 albums, almost $100. Well worth the money. Well worth the trip. worth the experience. I'll never forget the experience, and I know better, I'm smarter for it. So let me know what you think about my selections. If you have any of these albums, what you think I should dig for next. All right? Now this would have been a great place to end this video, but Aeromexico, they wrote a different script for us on this day. They lost my luggage, the luggage that had my albums in. Now, what's the big deal? Everybody gets their luggage lost on occasion, but it's how they did it. And I got it all on video, and I'm going to share that with you. And I'm getting fired up just thinking about it all over again. Check it out. So the small gray and the large red bags belong to me. I decided to record because the gray bag has a fragile tag on it because of some camera gear I have inside. I wanted to see how they loaded it, and it was fine. But the red one remained on standby. For what? I don't know. So I hit the call button and explained my dilemma.
Is yours?
It's mine, yes.
Your last name, please?
Perez Chica.
Perez Chica.
But I can just imagine the conversation these guys were having over my red piece of luggage. Hey, this luggage belongs to Mr. Andy. Says here we need to mess with him. What's he done to us? Besides, I kind of like his videos. Well, let's go ask Pablo. He'll know what to do with it. Yep, we need to mess with him. It says right here. But to be sure, let's ask the boss. Oh, this belongs to Mr. Andy. This is lost luggage. And you know what? He's probably watching us right now. Es todo. Que le vaya bien. And as my plane taxis away, I see my luggage abandoned on the side of the tarmac, surrounded by strangers, carrying my brand new albums. Until, what's that? I'm being moved to first class? Oh, why yes, I'll have a wine. And what's this? Eduardo Perez, Supervisor of Operations in Guadalajara? Just ask him and he'll take care of everything. Oh, this is too good to be true. Well, as it turned out, and as you would have guessed, it was too good to be true. Once we landed in Guadalajara, they made sure that I was the first to deplane because there was a young lady, a Aeromexico representative, waiting for me. She spoke great English, and apparently she was apprised of my dilemma. And she says, Mr. Perez Chica, follow me. We're going to go down and make sure that this gets taken care of. I thought, my goodness, first class and now this? I'm loving Aeromexico at this time. So I follow her along. She engages in some friendly chit chat, and then she points to me. See there, that sign there is baggage claim, and just show them Senor Perez Alcantara's name, and you'll be taken care of. Thank you very much, and off she went. So I walk into this place, and I give them the paper. Nobody spoke English, so I tried with the worst Spanish that I can muster up to explain the situation. Nobody knew who Senor Perez Alcantara was. They even made a phone call and asked somebody, wherever they called, nobody knew who this guy was, and that's where my dreams were crushed. I was for sure felt that I just got played. To this day, I feel that I got played. They went on to explain, we can't file a luggage claim here because this is not your final destination. And once they said that, it clicked. I said, yeah, you're right. So Fresno, California is the place to do it. You can imagine how frustrated, angry, and a lot more adjectives with foul language was going through my mind at the time. That flight home to Fresno, I was not happy. It was no longer in first class. I was in business class, but still wasn't a happy camper. So we land in Fresno. Yes, it does not end here. And I'm looking for a baggage claim, and all of the grounds crew was gone. I asked a representative out by the check-in counters, where can I file for a baggage claim? So, oh, once you cross that door, once you cross that threshold, you can't do it. That's where you have to do it. And I explained there was nobody there. Yes, we're short-staffed, and immediately after your plane landed, everybody had to go to assist a plane that was departing. So, but you can wait for about 15 minutes to a half hour when that plane is gone, and then you can file a claim. Well, middle of the night, I was so tired and beyond being angry anymore, I just went home. 2 weeks of futile phone calls. I just figured I lost my luggage. It's gone, along with my newly purchased albums. But then, bippity boppity boop, 3 weeks later, a young lady knocks on my door and she says, "Here's your luggage," like nothing ever happened. And that, my friends, is the place this video should end. So thanks for tagging along with my journey, and yeah, the end. Ciao.